boop 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 boop. Something like that, probably. Hi, Theo. Oh yeah, that's the look of determination. A look I've not seen on my son's face in many moons. He's gonna take a nap, I reckon. All right, so I think we're live now. Yeah, we're doing it live. Oh no, I gotta mute this. There we go. I had to think about that for a second. I'm still waking up. Da 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 da. I got a comment from Witty. Thanks, Witty. Okay, that's enough of that. I need to quit doing what I'm doing. That's the problem with waking up. I'm always doing it. I'm just kidding. I like waking up. That's the problem with waking up. Bum, bum, bum. Let's see. Ooga booga booga. Stupid dog, you make me look bad. Yes. Ooga booga booga. Stupid dog, you make me look bad. Who lives on a farm with his owner Meryl and her husband Eustace Banks. You stupid dog. But creepy stuff happens in nowhere, and it's up for Courage to find out. Pretty sure that's how the beginning goes. Man, I love Courage. There are so many good episodes. Katz is one of my favorite characters, as you can probably imagine. Very, very early on, it was just like, man, as soon as that character introduced, like, well, that's my favorite. Katz is so good. I love the episode. I think he's introduced in the Katz Motel. I think that's the first episode with Katz in it. Welcome to the Katz Motel. I am Katz. It's spelled with a K. I think it's Katz. Katz. But it's just a tall anthropomorphic cat. And if I remember correctly, his head is kind of triangular, almost kind of like how a fox head. He's like a fox cat, kind of. But very, very, very good. A bit of sport before you die, old cat. The barber stylist was freaky as fuck. That would be... Oh, don't tell me his name. I'm going to guess it. And it made me naughty. Fred. My cousin Fred. He's a barber. He's a weirdo. I'm trying to remember all the things that like Eustace says about him. He's a creepy barber dentist. Ooga booga booga. But yeah, that one is a really deeply disturbing episode, actually. Not the one with cats, but the one with Fred, the barber. That one, and I gotta say, I'm gonna move these. I think they're gonna be a little loud. The one with. And this is like very early episodes. I want to say it's like in the first like 10 to 15 of the series, but like the filmmakers, the dude that dies and comes back to dig up his partner who's buried under the basement of the farmhouse. That is a gnarly fucking episode for children. Like, I can distinctly remember that one and being like, I think this is okay for my little sister to watch with me, but we're already here, so who's to say? Oh boy, now that looks good. That looks great. There's a funnel on top of my cabinet over here. and a submarine and a green screen up there too. So I'm still in the process of getting everything set up. So please, please, please bear with me. I might have brought that a little too forward. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. Couple exciting things. As you can see, well, one, this is the first time like I've started filming with the new setup. Things facing this way, I think. At least I don't have the impression it is. I'll do a little tour if that's something that anybody is interested in. Whenever it's fully done, I can do it, or I'll do it then, because I feel like it's just going to be like, oh, well, I'll tell you what's over here and over here, or carrying it around, which that's the whole thing. Is like with getting my shop set up into its final form, which we're almost there. I got to get the ceiling, not supports, but like storage kind of stuff that you typically do with a garage. I'm getting some of that. Or I'm going to like pretty much use 2x4s and whatnot to build my own. I also just rubbed my head on the microphone. That's silly. So that space above there, I had to cut my grow tent. So this is a grow tent. One of the many things that I have purchased that put me on the list of why they think I'm probably growing weed. Catboy confirmed. The Catboy is confirmed about the grow tent? I don't know. I don't know how that makes me a cat boy. I'm not denying that I am. Rubbing your head on the mic. Oh, well, yeah. Well, we already knew that. But you got me. I just got to make sure it smells like me. Thea says, now you're getting it. Dad, you got to rub like here. Right about here. You rub that on somebody. Bam. They're yours forever. I guess that could be where you grow the catnip. Yeah, that is true. I got to be completely honest with you. Actually, if I moved these cabinets and I opened the blinds like to my window, you would see that it opens up to my backyard, and it opens up right next to the steps. And we got catnip for our babies a couple years ago. When we got like a little like above ground planter, we were trying to grow some herbs and stuff. And it stopped growing in the planter like that year. However, this has been years, but since then, some animal, I guess, ate a piece of the seeds or something happened, and a piece of that catnip ended up in the broken part of my back porch. Like, the kids are getting zooted. Oh, you can always tell when they find some wild growing catnip in our backyard, because they're just like going on their day, and then they're just like, and they just do that for a while, and then they just get all crazy and they start running around. But yeah, it's that good nip. Like, on a good windy day, someone thinks that I'm growing weeds just straight in my backyard. You smell that and you're like, Jesus, that's dank as hell. And it's just, I at this point, I can't control the catnip. It's like, my neighbor has like mint, that supposedly mint does the same thing, but like catnip and mint are very, very similar, from a plant, like same thing with spearmint. And a lot of people use, I didn't know this, but some real Nick Cage from Face Off shit. Yeah. And just Face Off. Man, that movie's so fucking crazy. I'm pretty sure that was one of the first movies that I made Kelly watch when we were dating, because I was like, you've never seen Face Off? And she was like, no. And I was like, holy fuck, this movie's crazy. I love it. I love that. I love the logic. I love how at the time the movie people really liked it, and they're like, yeah, this makes sense. But it's just like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Why would he sound like Nick Cage now? Because he has Nick Cage's face. I took Nick Cage's face and now I sound like him. That sounds like actually some horrific kind of like curse that Nicolas Cage legitimately is under. The first movie that Anna fully watched with me was The Cube. Fuck yeah. I think the first movie I watched with my wife was, it might be Fantastic Mr. Fox, which Yeah, it might be Fantastic Mr. Fox. Nope, it's not. It's Rushmore. Bam. Okay. Wes Anderson's Rushmore. I clapped. Didn't mean to clap. Make a very loud noise. I thought it was Fantastic Mr. Fox for a second. I have a tendency to like that one a lot. Let's see. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, I got to put the stuff up here for hanging up that you usually use for hanging stuff in your garage or whatnot, like garage overhead storage, because I want to have a spot to hang my boards and other really big like materials that do not weigh very much but take up weird space. I had to cut 5 inches off of my grow tent because the grow tent is too tall to go underneath of my return duct. It is just the height that it won't do that. So, and it is just the length that it goes underneath of it. So I had to cut those. I cut all, like it's essentially, it's got a bunch of poles that hold it up. I cut 5 inches off of every one of those. So essentially it's just got a little bit more fabric and it's kind of hanging a little lower. I can't really tell the difference, to be perfectly honest. It's a little bit saggier at the very, very bottom. That's fine. And the reason I have a grow tent is because they are a lot. This is a pro tip for you. If you are in need of a spray booth, buy a grow tent instead, probably. Depending on how big of a grow tent or spray booth, let me rephrase that. Depending on how big of a spray booth you need, you might be better off buying a grow tent because they do very similar, very, very, very similar things, but they are marketed for two completely different things, which means that the prices, because that's how the world works. We don't actually charge for what shit is worth based on what it costs to make. We charge based on what it's worth to do, typically. So if you can find things that are quote unquote raw materials or like cheaper hobbies, then it's often easy to find ways to buy materials and tools for those things and then repurpose them. It is a drastic difference between the price of this, which I got on sale. I think I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it was half the price of a smaller spray booth. And I knew that it would accomplish my goals because it's a grow tent. Grow tents have to be, they have to fall into certain, you have to have certain things for a grow tent to be like a valid grow tent. It has to keep moisture in, which is the number one thing I needed, because the whole reason I'm doing this is I don't want my kids, my family. I don't want my family. That's really what it comes down to. I don't want my family affected by the fumes of anything that I do. All my hobbies definitely involve some level of that's not good to breathe that in, and they always have. I think one of the first memories of hobbying, of doing anything, is my mom being like, I should have never let you have that paint. You are going to die. That paint is going to kill you. It is just killing brain cells. And it's because, yeah, it was enamel. It was enamel paint. I'm just painting straight out of the bottle. Little Testors enamels. But, so yeah, I often have had that embedded in my head that I've got to make sure that what I'm doing, I keep safety in mind. Now, yeah, my fingers are absolutely scar covered, little gribblies, but lungs you only get one set of those. So if you really fuck them up permanently, yeah, that's it. Same thing with eyes. I wear glasses, so I have some safety glasses that I need to actually wear, and I really should, because I was just thinking, I've got a spot cleaned up over here. I've brought my other desk, from my previously. The idea was to have my studio, which is where I would record audio and the nice looking place that I present to the world. And 5 of us crammed in an unventilated garage using super glue like crazy. That is honestly probably more dangerous than anything. That I cannot even stress enough. Super glue, cyanoacrylate, that is some of the scariest stuff on this planet. I think that was something I discovered. Deep, a very, very, very deep, deeply disturbing memory. I can remember some Dateline or whatever, someone who was assaulted. And super glue was involved, and it was a very disturbing story. But I remember hearing that as a child. But speaking of more disturbing, cyanoacrylate burns. Yeah, eyes red and burning. All of us laughing like idiots. Yeah, like I can't stress enough how lucky I am, and you, and most of us that have just been playing with large amounts of super glue at a time. I'm very happy that I've not gotten a worse chemical burn. I've gotten a chemical burn from it for sure. I've never gotten one as bad as I've seen Luke from Luke's Affordable Painting Service. I know that he got one a couple years back that was fucked. And it's just gnarly because it's you think that the glue is the part that's like, man, that can really mess you up. It's the fumes, man. Those fumes. And it's not the fumes. Let me rephrase that. It's not the fumes like, oh, it's the smell. It's just if you put too much of that open in an area, just the amount of it can fucking burn your skin. Just very not good. Very not good. Yeah. Luke's Affordable Painting Service. There's a video that he had a couple years back. I want to say it was his face and his hands. He got fucked. And he got lucky. I cannot stress that enough. Like, the moment that I saw his face was like, you are lucky you have your eyeballs. Like, God, it's some scary shit. Chemical burns are just one of the most horrific things ever. After burning my foot, after burning my foot and slap that bad boy up here. After burning that foot there. Which, that reminds me of great catchphrases. I was taking a shower last night after I mowed the yard, and I'm going to quit. I moved, so I don't have my full setup. We're in like the halfway. So that's why I don't have the camera from the top down, and it's just me talking. We are going to get back to hobbying and all that jazz very soon. I just need probably one more morning of like working and cleaning and stuff before I can get back to actually doing stuff on here in the morning. But I'm super excited, and that's what all this was ranting about. Spray booth, I was going into that. Spray booths are cheaper. They keep fumes in because a key part of a grow tent is maintaining humidity for your seedlings or other things. I bought a grow tent because they were cheaper and because I knew... Okay, well, actually, here's two things. The first reason I bought a grow tent is because I already have an inline fan because I had already tried to build my own small portable spray booth to use at my desk back on the old black altar. And I can actually show that. So I cannot show the inline fan because the inline fan is still mounted over on the other side of the basement, but this is the controller for it. So this is a VivoSun fan controller. Good morning, gardener. How are you? Welcome, my friend. I am talking about moving things, spray booths, chemical burns, cat stuff. Yeah, so this is a fan controller for my inline fan. Feel crazy. Feeling crazy. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Slap, 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 slap. Yeah, VivoSun. I bought this grow tent. This is a VivoSun grow tent. And I purchased it because I had already purchased the VivoSun airline or inline fan, which is dope. And I think it's still, yeah, you can't see it from here because it's connected to the wall. But from there, I've got this. It looks pretty much just like a fan, bunch of tubes, with open and shut. That way I had two of them connected to it with a Y splitter, because initially one of them was going to this box, which, speaking of repurposing and making things again, the spray booths that they have on Amazon are fine. You can make your own for not even a fraction of the price. I mean, it's a fraction, but that's a dumb saying. Fractions are dumb. Anywho, this is the first little spray booth that I built. It is made from a photo booth. I don't think. Oh no, it does. It is a shot photo. And one of the reasons that I went with this is because it has lights. It has a nice little spot in here for giving you good lighting. This sounds like dog shit, I'm sorry. But the part of me that sees that these are not connected where they're supposed to be is killing me, and I have to fix it. Okay, so yeah, here's a little spray booth. This is a shot photo light box with a exhaust fan that I just stuck in there. And this goes on one end of your tubes. In the event that, say, you are like, man, I've got a bunch of really, 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 really big demons, and I've got like 3 days to buy a spray booth and get my shit together, and you're just kind of like winging it. That's the best thing that I could come up with, as far as a little box that's self-contained that holds lights. I think I paid $15, and then I spent $10 on the fan, and I connected a tube to it, and it fucking works banger. But keep in mind, I also had a VivoSun inline fan. So the inline fans, what that means is like a box fan or any other fan. I've got a fan right here. So I have two fans. Hey, thanks. Just smashed my finger real good. Okay, so here's another little fan. This is just a fan. Stream now, I just show fans. It's my OnlyFans show. Finally, there it was. I've been telling everybody I'm going to do OnlyFans for forever, and here we go. This is my OnlyFans stream. So, OnlyFans. Yeah, this is an Amazon Basics. OnlyFans. An inline fan. Essentially, this is all inside a self-contained enclosure with holes on both sides to connect to these. That way, the air is just completely contained within that tube. It's a good way to create like just suction. But that's typically how, if you have too far of a distance, and I'm only going to talk so much about this because I'm sure someone, and maybe even one of you, knows a lot more about building a house than I do. I know enough to be extremely dangerous, lethally dangerous, but outside of that, like, I'm not trained. As far as exhaust fans and venting out fumes, the longer the tube, the more power you need. And that also factors in with the angle, the height, the slope, all of that. There's a lot of math that comes into getting poisonous fumes out of your basement. So essentially over there, I had an inline fan hooked to the hole that I put inside of my house. My neighbor came outside. I know I've told this story elsewhere, but my neighbor came outside. My house has red brick on the sides, the front's stone. But it has red brick on the sides, and I had my hammer drill, and I'm just and my neighbor's like, "Oh, you doing a bathroom?" And I turn around, and I've got my like safety glasses and my rebreather on, and I look like what's his name? Yeah, we just talked about him. Nick Cage. I look like Nick Cage in Mandy. where it's just I take my glasses off and I have my painter's mask and it's just red. I look like I'm just but he's just like, oh, you put in a bathroom. I was like, oh no, I'm putting in an event for my printers. And he's just like, oh, okay. But yeah, my old printer, I had a Mars 3, which is now with Witchhammer Studios, Johnny. But I had that connected to the other side. I had this split. My hoses, I had my hoses split. So depending on if I was printing or if I was painting, and then I would close whichever door on these little things. I'd close that door that way. There would not be a air draw, like suction, because if one was open, then that would cause it would not be a straight just sucking air out into the outside. My tummy just went, ow. So, you're right, Tommy, moving on. Not even a single laugh about the OnlyFans joke. I thought that was hilarious. It's okay. It's okay. So, other funny things. Podcasts. Now that I have got, this has been a long journey, but I can feel you. It's been a long journey, and the castle's still not done. However, it's going to be varnished today in that room, and I'm excited about that. And that is why we are where we are with what has gotten done. It was essentially waiting for me to get to this phase of the layout. I needed the ability to be able to spray at any time, just because that has such a big impact on my timelines. And when I say timelines, I'm not saying like, ooh, I got to get all this stuff done because I'm under the gun because so and so needs me to do something, blah blah blah. I'm saying like for me, like I have deadlines that I'm trying to keep because I know how long things take, and I know what I need to do to present what I want to present to the world, for people to see it the way that I want it to be shown. And I knew that it would be something, this whole concept project idea is something that I have to work in batches. Not batches. I have to break it down in a very assembly line process where, good morning, Tyler. I made a reference to Fantastic Mr. Fox earlier, and you were the first person I thought of, because we were talking about watching movies with our wives, and I said the first movie that I watched with my wife was probably Fantastic Mr. Fox. And then I said, no, it was Rushmore. And I was like, but I thought it was Fantastic Mr. Fox because I was really big on that movie for a while. Make big task, many small tasks. That's it, Possum. You got it. Tyler gets it. I'm not going to tell that story. Yeah. That's another thing. Speaking of along those lines, though, I did listen yesterday. I was mowing my yard, and I was not sober, but I made the mistake of doing that and just being like, man, Possum was talking about fern teeth. That makes me think about maybe I should listen to that. So then I was listening to that, and it's just like, man, I've not done that, not sober, in a long time, especially while mowing my yard while it's really hot. And I was just that was a level of like self-analysis that I was not prepared for yesterday. But I still hold up the EP as a banger. Lyrically, a lot of content in there. I'm like, I don't remember writing that, but ooh. Anywho, so man, Theo is so cute. He's just laying here sleeping. Both my children love it. Well, thank you. Thank you. I've still got like a box of EPs because Sean and I are I'm such a bad salesman. Like, Sean and I are not salesmen. It's just like, oh yeah, no, that dude, those dudes, that set was sick. And it's just like, yeah, man, it sucks you missed it. Well, you could still, since you're here now, you could go over and buy an EP from them since you missed them playing it live. It was fucking sick. It's like, oh yeah, you see those two guys that look really unfriendly with a cardboard box that just says $5 on it and nothing else, like no other information? Go talk to them. Like, there was a very clear difference. Just hit him with the RE4. What are you buying? Oh yeah. What are you buying? What are you selling? I'll buy it at a high price. I love that guy. That was, I cannot stress enough, that was the first fucking thing that I said to Kelly the moment that Resident Evil 4 remaster was announced. I just looked at her, I said, what are you buying? And she was like, what are you talking about? Which, for those of you that do not know, my wife never played any of the Resident Evil games. My wife is literally like my other half, in the sense that, like, we are the same sides of the same side of the same face of the coin. Just a coin cut in half, like that. I never played any of the Silent Hills. She loved them. I loved Resident Evil. She never played any of them. The things that we like have in common that we liked that each other did not like I'd never played BioShock. She'd never played Dead Space, but my favorite game was Dead Space. Hers was BioShock. It's just a little match made in heaven. And then I think the first thing was she got in my car and I saw she had a lumpy space princess lanyard. And I was like, I like your lumpy space princess lanyard. She was like, thanks. And I was like, that's going to be my wife, I guess. And then just a quick hop, skip, and a jump to the church for a shotgun wedding. And there you go. I'm just kidding. That's not true at all. No, we had a good wedding. And it was not a shotgun wedding. So, anywho, spray booth, I covered that. A grow tent is cheaper than a spray booth. Tyler was there at our wedding. Yeah, a grow tent is cheaper than a spray booth. That's why I have a grow tent. Oh shit, me and Jen actually got. Whoa, what? That's fucking rad, dude. Thanks. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing that. Hell yeah, dude. When the fuck did that happen? You just gonna fucking drop that like that? That's nuts, dude. That's awesome. Congrats. I'm gonna go tell Kelly. I'm excited. I get to tell Kelly that. Wait, what? Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I got you. I had to think about that, dude. It's fucking wild. It's wild thinking about that. I can remember I can remember you telling me you're going to be a dad on my porch, like right there, like standing on the concrete above like where I'm at right now almost. Tyler at one point in time almost lived at my house. Just every day he would just go off work and come and live, like pretty much come home to me and Sean. Sweet boys. Gohan's 3 dads. I'm not going to say the 3 dad joke. God, that's a dark joke. One of us was dead. I don't remember. Yeah, okay. I never finished that joke either. The joke about why one of the songs is called You Can Be the Saddest Clown, it was that Sean and I were going to get a family portrait made, and it would be a family portrait of the two of us as clowns with Gohan, his cat son, my young ward, I would say, that he would also be painted as a clown. And the joke was told from the perspective of Sean's cat, Gohan. Gohan. He's Gohan. Because he kind of meows like that. Gohan. And he'd always go, Now that I'm saying this, I don't know if he actually made that noise or if I just always said that he did. I think that's the case, actually. I don't think Gohan ever made that noise. I think I have a false memory that I created. Yeah, no, I remember. I would say creepy, weird shit, and then I would say that at the end of it. I always made Gohan seem like he was a creepy little weirdo. I remember now. But yeah, I made him some clothes. That was the first article of clothing I ever made, was a shirt for Gohan. It was a red cutoff shirt made from the sleeve of one of my shirts. He looked real fucking bamf in it. Like, he looked like he'd beat your ass. You're like, man, that guy goes to the gym. He was just like... But he got a little stinky because he couldn't bathe under it. So we had to take it off. But because it did not have sleeves, he didn't care at all. He was just like, yeah, man, this is dope. I wear clothes now. I'm in. Um, but yeah, that's Gohan. I never finished that. The the whole joke was, man. Okay, so the whole joke was, it's a joke. Essentially, Sean and I constantly told jokes to each other of things that we would say to a potential partner that would end the relationship almost immediately. I mean, honestly, that's a big part of my humor, is just saying what can I say to someone that it's like, whatever relationship we have now, I said something so strange, not bad. Like, you're not upset with me, but you're like, man, that was fucking weird. And I don't know now. But the joke was that we would have a portrait of the three of us, my roommate, his cat, and myself, as clowns. And then when a girl that I was talking to, dating, whatever you want to refer to it at the time, would come over, she would question about the painting. And I don't even remember. The joke involves Gohan being able to, one, talk, and two, he also is anthropomorphic, but the joke was Gohan is the one that would tell her, you can be the saddest clown, and then he would start to put makeup on her face. It's just a horrifying concept. But you can be the saddest clown. It's just a very scary, a very, 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 very scary idea. Going to someone's house that you're in a relationship with, and they have a horrifying picture of them and their cat and their roommate dressed as clowns, and then the clown, one of them starts telling you that you can be the saddest clown, and they start painting you like a sad clown. It's like, you're clearly going to be involved in the picture. There's a lot of things here. Yeah. He also liked eating hair. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm not, kink shaming anybody, for sure. But that's a fact. That guy liked eating girl hair. Just girl hair. Not guy hair. He was sexist. He did not eat Kelly's hair. He did not eat Kelly's hair. There are like, seriously, 2 girls that came to this household whose hair did not attempt to get eaten. The ever-growing clown family portrait. He liked biting the back. Yeah, he liked biting. He liked fucking biting. That guy was an asshole. God, he was the worst kitten I've ever met in my life. He was just vicious. Before Sean and I moved in here, Sean lived in these apartments. And God, Sean had this futon. He liked biting back. Yeah, so he liked biting my hands and my neck, and my sides, like where you would, the term delige. I don't know if it's the spot where, like, ooh, that hurts. That's right in between all the little organs. He liked to go for those with his little needle kitten claws and his little needle kitten teeth, and he would just, and he would just like, fuck, go on, what the fuck, dude? And then he would just be like, and he'd run off, and then he destroyed every blind in Sean's apartment. Like, all the blinds were just, Sean literally ripped him off my scalp one night, and I was bleeding all over. I was there. I remember that. He latched onto the back of Tyler's head, and Sean was like, go on, get the fuck off. He's like, oh, no. I was thinking about the guy. So I'm sorry for everyone else that's just going to listen to me like reminisce with Tyler for a second. But I was thinking the other night, I was moving some of my guitars, and I was thinking about the pizza man. At one point in time, there was a pizza man that came to our house, and that happened a lot. That's not an odd occurrence. The thing that makes this really funny is that he engaged in conversation with my roommate Sean. Tyler and I were in the living room, sitting on the couch, but he's talking to Sean at the door, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man." He's like, "Yeah, I hear you guys always playing music and stuff," and it's just, a key thing is, at the time, I was really, 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 really into Lucero. There was a key point in my time where I was just really white trash. And I mean that in like, I've always been white trash, but there was a point where I just looked like I would look at you and be like, I tell you what now, boy. Yeah, I reckon. And I looked like that, but I was just all about sad bastard music. which I love. I'm shaking my legs, so that's why the computer's shaking. The little screen. The pizza guy, he was talking about, he's like, oh man, you guys are always playing music. It always sounds so good. And the realization that like the only time he would have been able to actually hear what we were playing would have been one of the nights that I was very drunk, writing very not good, writing intentionally bad music with an acoustic guitar on the couch in the living room. And one of them was about specifically not having genitalia, and then eventually revealing that I do, and it actually is, I refer to it as a willy. And that is the only song that I think the pizza man would have heard. So him being like, man, you guys are really good. And it's just me doing really shitty Lucero songs, grinding on me, crying on me. That's grind on me, crying on me is Fern Teeth, baby. And that is absolutely from Lucero. But and I've talked about that story on here. And that is still one of the fucking, in a life that feels as surreal as mine does all the fucking time, that is still one of the single most fever dream surreal moments I've ever experienced in my life. Like I don't even, I would love to meet this girl again, and the Ink Master dude, and to sit down with and Ben Nichols. Honestly, I would love to have Ben Nichols of Lucero, the girl who cried on me while grinding on me. This stranger also, let me really keep in mind, I did not know this girl. The girl who was grinding on me while crying. Hopefully she graduated to the poop gun. That was not her. That wasn't, she wasn't the one who grind on me. The poop gun girl was, she was dope as hell. Poop gun girl was solid as fuck. For everyone that does not know what Tyler and I are talking about, that poop gun was that Lucero too? That was in Lexington. The poop gun was in Lexington. When we, at some point in time when I was single, we went to Lucero. We went to go see Lucero in Lexington. And I'm pretty sure, Tyler, was it you or was it Nick? Someone with me stayed. I thought that they were the same show at the picnic. No, the poop gun was in Lexington. The poop gun was in Lexington. There was a girl that worked at the, and I am saying, you are hearing me correct, everyone, poop gun. I'll handle the poop gun first. The poop gun, we went to a Lucero show in Lexington, and it was, that was the one that was the show that I had to keep Nick awake on the way back, because it was like 3 or 4 a.m. and I discovered a whole genre of toys that I didn't know exist that are now very, 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 very popular. But I found a website that makes adult toys specifically themed after dragons. You all already know if you're weirdos. Yeah. I was trying to find that's a key thing. So I can keep you awake. Like, hey, you're afraid you're going to go to sleep? Don't worry, baby. You'll never sleep again. I'll keep you awake. You're not going to like how I'm going to do it, but you are not going to go to sleep. I'm going to show you things on the internet while you're driving that are going to make you so upset that you won't be able to go to sleep. And I did. I did succeed in doing that. I also upset myself. But we made it home okay. Yeah, so that was that night. But the poop gun at Lucero, we were at the poop gun. Chick with a poop gun at the Lucero show. Final offer. Well, that's my final answer. Locking it in. We get there, and I don't remember if it might have been Sean. It might have been, nope, it was you. I swear it was Tyler, Jen. Was Jen there? I feel like it was Tyler and Jen, and then Nick and I. Yeah, that makes sense. Tyler, I think you and Jen went and got drinks, so it was just me and Nick. And Nick is perpetually, yeah, it was. Okay, so Nick is my perpetual, like, in these settings, Nick was always my, like, wingman, even when I didn't want it, which I appreciate always. But he was just like, oh, yeah, man. No, let's just start chatting these girls up. And it's just like, we start chatting these girls up. Very quickly, we get to this, like, okay, well, now I'm not even, like, whatever intentions I had, I am fascinated now in this person because they have opened up a door into a world that I didn't know existed when they told me, yeah, I work at the chicken factory and, right now I do blah, blah, blah. But if I keep doing a good job, 2 more positions up, I get to do the poop gun. And I was like, wait, what? And she was like, yeah. Apparently in these chicken factories, everything is done on you start at one end of the line and you work your way up. So I guess one end of the line is just the worst and it gets better. I don't know. However, I do know that this woman was telling me that I don't remember. I think she blew the feathers off. She did something, and I was like, oh, that kind of sounds fun. She's like, yeah. It's not that bad. She was like, but I really want to move up 2 spots because then I get to do the poop gun. And I was like, what is a poop gun? And it's exactly what you think it is. It is a gun. It's like the reverse super soaker or it's just, you just stick it up and it just sucks everything out of the chicken, I guess. And that's what she wanted to do. And that's just a lot. Just in general, it's 7:30 a.m. here. So wherever you are in your life right now, I'm sorry, but you needed to know that. There's people out there that, yeah, that's what they want. They want to be paid to suck poop out of a chicken so we can eat it with a poop gun. And I don't know where I feel about that because part of me is like, that's kind of beautiful. It's like, that is a thing that if that's what you want to do with life. But then I'm also just like, and I'm not judging by all means. I can't stress, if the job came down to do I want to suck the poop out of the chicken with a gun or defeather it? I apologize to everyone else in chat for this. This is my fault. I don't apologize. They know what they're getting into. So yeah, that was the poop gun. And then the grind on me, crying on me thing is that we went to the family, Lucero family picnic that got rained out, which that is the other thing that Kelly and I were talking about the other day. And I said that the only thing in this world that cigarette 100s, you don't pay for more is watching Lucero play Darby's song 3 times. I wanted to see it once. I saw it 3 times and I only wanted to see it once. And it's absolutely the equivalent. The only thing that I've ever encountered that's like that is 100 cigarette where you're like, God damn, this is too much. I thought I wanted this. I don't. I will pay for less. Thank you. Because yeah, that was just too fucking many feels. Which those of you who do not know, Lucero, they wrote an album called Tennessee. It's really, 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 really good. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. It's their fucking best. That or That Much Further West, one of the two. But Tennessee it's a fucking amazing Americana album, alt country, sad bastard music. They essentially are a bunch of metal kids that, they were metal kids that started to write alternative country. And it's got a very kind of punk Heartland kind of thing to it. Early Lucero, let me rephrase that. So Greg, I think Greg Wire is absolutely on the same page. There's a certain line where it's just Women in Work is where they lost me. But Texas and Tennessee was a fucking amazing EP. One of the first things that Kelly made for me was a painting of the woman on the cover of that EP. I don't think I still have it though. I think that's her choice, not mine. I think she wasn't as pleased with it. But that was when it was on acrylic. She hadn't started doing watercolors yet. But yeah, Grind on Me, Crying on Me. That was the name that we had for Fern Teeth. And it was named because we went to the Lucero family picnic, and while watching Lucero, and I'm in the very fucking front. I could spit. I'm a very good spitter. Not toot my own horn, but toot, 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 toot. But regardless, anyone, I think, I could have spit onto Ben Nichols from where I was. to give you the idea of how close I was. Not that I would. I love Ben Nichols. However, this is key info. It's an amphitheater, so like the stage comes up to like here-ish, and there's a girl that I don't know. I do not know who this person is, and she is very intoxicated, and she is right next to me. Because this is such a big Lucero event, it's the Lucero family picnic. I think his name's Rodney. I never am going to fucking remember it, but it's a key part of why this story is so fantastical and just like fever dream-esque, is that not only is it like, okay, like I'm in the very front, so it's already like, yeah, this is cool, but it's a really big show. I'm not normally big, front and big shows kind of guy. Like small scene kind of shit. I love being up in front. Big shows, I'm typically in the back because I'm old now. But don't really have to worry about all that kind of shit here because it's Lucero, not fucking 3 inches of blood or Sun. Anywho, or Modern Life is War. Converge. Anywho. So we were there at the very fucking front. I had, in the past couple of years, I had seen a couple episodes of Ink Masters. And there is a dude, one of the Ink Masters. He has a long ponytail and a mustache. And I want to say his name's Rodney, but I don't know. It's not really my jam. I dated a girl for a while. She liked Ink Masters. But this guy's there. This guy's there because it's his favorite band. And he's talked about it on the show a lot, randomly. From when, like, I was like, oh, okay, this is weird. I know that guy. He's famous. He's on TV. Okay. So a couple songs into their set, this girl goes from being like intoxicated to just like, she's not feeling good. She's had too much to drink and way too much sad bastard music. She is just not feeling good. She's kind of sad. And I guess she decided to counter that by starting to Oliver Peck. Not Rodney at all. His name's Oliver Peck. Okay. Oliver Peck. She is dancing and slowly starts to grind up on me. Number one, I'm an awkward person. Number two, it's Lucero. It doesn't make... Everything about it is so bizarre. One, like, I don't go to clubs. Like, so being in public and being grinded on when no one else is weird. Two, it's even weirder when it's at a Lucero alternate country show. Three, she's crying because it's a sad bastard show. So like, there is now a crying girl that I don't know grinding on me at the very front of this show. And like the dude from Ink Masters and the entire band, like everyone, they're playing, but they're looking at me because they think I'm some abusive piece of shit boyfriend. And it just keeps getting more and more uncomfortable as more people are like, what's going on? What's going on? And I look, and like the Ink Master dude is like, he's like got some security people that he's like talking to and pointing. And I'm like, like, it's just really awful. And eventually, another girl, thankfully there was another girl who was cool that was like next to us and was just like, they kind of grabbed her and was like, girl, you got to stop or they're going to make you leave. You're making everyone feel real uncomfortable. Which was good because Nick and I did not know how to handle that. We were both too just busy trying to be like, we're not involved. I don't know who this person is. And that's Grinding on Me, Crying on Me. That's where that song title came from. Yeah, don't go out and grind on people at sad bastard shows that you don't know. It's not good for anybody. That's that. Sorry if it was not as good of a build-up. I think it's pretty good. I miss playing shows. I was thinking about that the other day. I've been thinking about doing podcasts though, and I think that's probably why, because I've been thinking about what kind of podcasts I want to do, and I'm at the point that I think I've got the idea for two, and it's specifically, boo, you're no fun, I'll do what I want. I'm thinking, leaning at the idea of having two, for a couple of reasons, and I have talked to one of the people already, and they are very, very, very much excited to do this. And then the other one we have talked about already, but I know that it is going to be not as often. But I really, 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 really want to do a podcast with Johnny, Witchhammer Studios. And that one is going to be the one that's probably on not as often of a basis because Johnny and I live about an hour, 45, 2 hours apart. So we just physically aren't going to be able to meet up to do a podcast as often. But I'm really, really, really excited about that because I love podcasts. I love to talk. I'm a yapper. So any chance that I get to talk and talk and talk is something that I am down with. Also, the main thing is Johnny and I are both hermits, and I'm thinking that this is going to be a very good way to force us to communicate with each other because I love Johnny and I want to talk to him more. And I also know that so much of that, and this is just a me, hey, it's 7:39. Man, we always get here right at the last minutes. I know. And then Margot comes down. She says, Dad, don't have time for the heart-to-heart. I know. She says, we're about to lose funding. Do you have any fucking idea how hard I have worked to get all this funding? Margot, honey, baby girl. Thank you. She knows how to tell time. I don't know how. I think it's like an internal clock. Hey, Bug. He's still just laying on the floor. But yeah, so I really want to do a podcast with my buddy Johnny. And that would be, Johnny and I are both little blasphemous shits. At one point in time, Martin said that no one else knew about it, but Johnny and I were just having a running for who can make the darkest miniatures in the hobby. And then it became like now I kind of want to just intentionally make the darkest miniatures. But just naturally, Johnny and I make really dark, fucked up shit. Honey, girl, give me a second. I am closing out. Okay? Jesus. Can you believe her? Anyhow, girl, I'm going. Theo, you don't need to get involved. Anywho, child, I'm gonna go start coffee. I'm gonna take this one with me. I'll be right back. Then I'll finish up my closing statements. I'm gonna tell my dad. Oh, ooh, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Podcasts. Yeah, but no, I really want to do a podcast. I really want to do a podcast called Piss Pants. I feel like Piss Pants is a great name for a podcast. So unless Johnny absolutely hates it, I really want to call the podcast Piss Pants because you're not going to forget it. And I kind of like the idea of being like, what you piss pantsing about? Like, what's got you all in a tizzy? I'd listen. Thank you. If you've ever listened to an interview like on Between the Bolter and Me, like Dragon and Turbo Lasers with Johnny and I feel like Johnny and I, once we start talking to each other, we don't stop. And we're both childish fucking goofballs. I feel like Piss Pants is just a great name for our podcast. And that I really want it to be an artist, like a talk, a catching up, and also talking about things that we're jazzed about, things that we're working on, things that we're pumped about. I guess a touching base, because we have so much in common in like the work that we do, and how we do it. Heard him. Yeah, no, cool, cool. I think I always really, I've loved every one of those. So I think that would be a really good one. And I think just given that, the distance, it would be able to be something that we could do on a regular basis that wouldn't be too much. The other one would be a more regular with my buddy Sam. And it would be, I guess, more of a solo thing, but Sam does not, he is not a, he does not actively do things in our hobby, but he loves everything that I do and always has, his words. He has been a massive like proponent of every form of art that I've ever done. If I make something, he wants to experience it and see it and be a part of it, and understand it. He was my best man in our wedding. One of my oldest friends, but I really think that he and as him, he said that when I asked him, he's like, I don't think I'd be good at podcasts. And I was like, dude, you will be great at podcasts because you will be the person that I need. And then eventually he responded back, but he was just like, I'll be the great straight man. Like, and I don't know if he meant like straight as in like not queer, but I think he meant straight as in like almost the queer eye straight, where it's like you need, and that's it, because so much of what I want to do with this area has been influenced by, I think, Queer Eye, RuPaul. I want to subvert. And also I want to show that. I mean, I like to wear a bunch of fucking shit with pentagrams. I like to do a bunch of metal ass shit. I say a lot of shit that's offensive, but I really want to have somebody that does not know anywhere near as much about the hobbies that I do to ask the questions that everybody has answered, or everybody wants to know, that I don't think about those because I've been in this for 26, 27 years. Like, I think he will be able to ask the questions in a way that everyone else will benefit from, and he and I have a rapport that it will flow very, very, very well. So thank you, Tyler. Sam would be amazing on a podcast with you. I think so. I think he also will, if anything, hopefully ground me and keep me on topic a little bit more. But I did not want it to be Kelly just because specifically I didn't want to bombard her nonstop with my hobby. A straight man as in the person to set you up for you to deliver the satisfying punchline or insightful thing. I think so. I think he said straight man, and he said it with caps. And it was like, I feel like he's like referencing the straight man in that bit. It's a fucking goofball thing in the sense that I'm not straight. And it also works in that way too, where it's just like trying to explain. I'd listen to that too. Awesome. Wow. No, that one I have been workshopping the name, and I did tell Sam, and it's an absurd name. And we'll workshop it a little more, but right now it was Secret Roommate. Also calling second guest after Kelly. Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. I'd love that. But yeah, was going to call it Secret Roommate because that's been a thing that I think the moment that I learned that was like Sam's biggest fear, it was just one of the things that I found funniest in this world. And also I can't stress enough that it's not funny to be afraid of that. It's a very fucking valid fear. You should be afraid. Make sure no one lives in your house that you don't know about. But yeah, the full extent that I came down to was Secret Roommate - asking strangers if they're ticklish. Or Saracet if you're nasty. It's just an over the top. But yeah, I think I've got to go. I got to finish making coffee. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will try to get more stuff in the pipeline figured out, and I'm gonna get some varnish on that castle today. Get moving on this and start getting this whole thing going. But thank you guys so much for your time, and thank you so much for listening to me. Take care and sit pretty. I will talk to you guys later. Take care, guys. Bye, friends.